Hey guys, welcome back to some Raid. Today's video, we're going to be breaking down the effectiveness of farming food and really how to do this as a beginner. Now, this account is 5 days into progression. We're just starting day 6, just had the reset, and I want to break this down so you have a better understanding of exactly how to start this off and how you got to farm food. Now, for me personally, it has been a great honor and a great choice to come and play Raid. It's super fun. There's a lot of in-depth things that you can look at, but there is systematically, if you're using resources and if you're very inefficient with using those resources, it is going to cost you in the long run, especially as a free-to-play player. It is going to be absolutely detrimental. So let's go ahead and break this down, starting with the first one, looking at the XP boost. Now, when it comes to farming food, if you do not have this XP boost, there's a bunch of different ways to get it. As you can see, just starting off again, we're about 5 days in. We're looking at 3 weeks we got this boost, and it also does give bonuses or boost it up a little bit further through regular progression. Getting the XP boost and carrying this is going to make a big difference when you start looking at the utilization of your stamina in relationship to getting XP, which we're going to be talking about, building up the farm and building up the food. You are going to do it pretty much forever. It is kind of the basis and the fundamentals that Raid is built on, making sure you have those XP boosts. Now, looking at our quests, this is a place you can pick up, some more of the energy, but looking at these XP boosts, this is another place, again, that you're going to get these. Now, these are weekly quests, meaning I believe it's every 5 days we can go ahead and reset these, getting the 1-day EXP boost. Now, if you're also sitting on a lot of diamonds, if you're putting money into Raid, you can actually buy these out of the shop as well. So you can go ahead and hit the bottom left, and those XP boosts are right down here. Now, there is a 100% 1-day. There is a 100% 3-day. Make sure if you're buying it, again, just cautious. Be cautious of the spending because it's 280 diamonds for 3 total days. Well, it is 140 for 1 day, so you're getting an extra day entirely for buying this XP boost. And it also does come out of events. I believe there's a few events where you do get a little bit of a boost. This also gives you a lot of food. Looking in here, looking right here at our rank 3 chicken, absolutely want to be picking that out. But I believe there were a couple different events. There were a couple different places that there were a few XP boosts out of here, which we're going to talk about a lot of things that are in here a little bit later. But right now we're focusing on the food itself. Now, when it comes to the food and being a beginner, you want to go in and the first thing you want to do, primary, once you have that XP boost up, is the campaign. This is going to be the first place that you're going to live. So looking here, going through here, making your progression, running through normal mode. Don't worry about the stars, just worry about completing the stages. I repeat, guys, the stars are going to be super easy, literally just to breeze through with some stamina. Later on, you want to go through here and you want to push all the way through normal mode, as you see right here behind my screen. You want to move into hard mode. Now, going through hard mode, of course, going to be a little bit more difficult. There might be a few stages kind of along the way that you're going to have to farm. You're going to pick up some stars. You're going to pick up some rewards. And overall, with your champions, going through here, gaining levels, getting a lot of experience. And of course, you want to get all the way through hard and you want to move into brutal. Now, when we move into this brutal mode, this is the place, again, that we want to farm up. We want to see if we can go through the campaign, make a lot of progression. And again, looking here, I'm not worried about farming up the stars. I just want to go through and I want to get to the point of getting to 12-3. Now, for a lot of players, 12-3, and we'll talk about this in just a minute, is the place that you're going to farm. But as a beginning player, there are really 2 huge, really monumental places that you do want to farm. The first one being right here, the Veldemir Straits. This is going to yield you lifesteal gear. Now, when it comes to getting your champions, when it comes to survivability, especially in an earlier game, if you're looking at building up champions, if you're getting them to farm, the lifesteal gear is going to be absolutely imperative. And I do want to talk a little bit about how we want to build this because did some research, looked at a bunch of different places and figured out exactly what you want to do. And if you're unfamiliar with this, again, if you're kind of newer to farming up food, if you look right here at the weapon, the stats are set. If you look at the helm, again, you see you get HP, it is set. When you look at the shield, it is set. Now, when it comes to the gloves, when it comes to the armor, and when it comes to the boots, they are not set stats. You can see this giant matrix right here of what you can get from this lifesteal gear. Now, for the gloves, there is one thing and only one thing that you really want to focus on when it comes to building these out. Again, thinking a little bit earlier, is the crit rate. You want to get the crit rate. You want to get these 5-star gloves right here. that is going to, at level 16, give you a 50% increase to crit rate. Remember, crit rate at 100% means that every single attack you do is going to crit. There's a lot of heroes that can buff crit. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but you want to make sure that you have that crit rate in here. Now, of course, there are going to be substats, but right now we're worried about and really focused on farming up this gear specifically because it is going to make a huge difference. Now, of course, with the lifesteal set, if you're not going for the set, a majority of guardians, or excuse me, the majority of the champions that we do have in this game are going to be very reliant on the crit rate and, of course, the accuracy. So depending on who you're building, depending what set you're going for, going to make a big difference. So here is an easy way to farm. So when you're going through here and thinking of farming, so let's say I'm looking for a 5-star pair of gloves that does have crit rate as that primary stat. You can actually hop in here. As you can see, we can drop out a couple of heroes. You can come in here if he's strong enough with your farming hero and then put a bunch of different level heroes in here. Now, overall, when it comes to heroes, you'll notice we have the 1-stars, we have the 2-stars, we have the 3-stars. I do not farm with anything less than really those 3-stars. 2-stars you can if you're only going through and really completing one stage. The reason being, when you're in Brutal, when you're at this level, if you can go through with one of your farmers, you're going to get a lot of experience. And a lot of times, if they're at this 1-star rating, you're going to cap them out super, super fast. I think it's 1 or 2 battles and you're completely capped out, meaning you could possibly be losing experience if they already capped. 2-stars, of course, are going to go to level 20, meaning they can have and really will earn a lot more experience. But overall, it's because of the higher cap. They get the same amount. Now, that is something to note, and I want to kind of break this down so you have an understanding. Now, when it comes to one single hero, if I'm running just one through here, we are going to get 100% of the experience on this champion right here. This champion, of course, is 5 stars maxed out at level 50, cannot get any more experience. It is max level. If I drop another champion in here, let's say we go ahead with this champion, this is going to split the experience 50-50, meaning this champion is going to get 50% of the experience. 50% is going to be capped over here, so it is going to be lost. So effectively, what we want to do is lower the amount of experience that our primary farmer is getting by adding in more champions. So right here, this goes to the 33 split. When we add another champion in there, now it goes to 25% for each of those, which again makes a big difference because now instead of getting 100, instead of getting 50, instead of getting 33, we now have our level cap champion that is only getting 25% of that experience, and the rest of it is going to the rest of these champions. Now, like I said earlier, when it comes to the champions, you want to use higher level champion, or excuse me, higher star champions because they can gain more levels. So based on the stars, you can really set this. So if it's a 1-star, it goes to 10, 2-star goes to 20, 3-star goes to 40, so on and so forth, all the way up to 6 stars at a level 60, which is still the cap within Raid today, making sure you're going through here. So again, newer player to Raid, you're going to farm a lot of these stages, and you're not farming them so much for experience, but you are farming them for gear. Now, that is going to be the point of farming out gear. Now, also to note, there are a few champions in here, like right here, War Maiden. War Maiden is one that you can come in here while you're farming the gear, and this does have the destroy set, but while you're farming the gear, you also have the ability to farm the champions that you're looking for. Some of these, especially War Maiden right here with the really, really big defense decrease, this is not going to be used so much in the campaign. When you start getting into other parts of Raid, you will actually have to use a lot of different champions to maximize the damage that you're doing on bosses, when you're looking at guild bosses, when you're looking at a bunch of different aspects. This Guardian, even though it is a rare Guardian, and we've said this before, when it comes to a lot of the rare Guardians, they still have a very, very high place, even above some of the epic and legendary champions that we have in here because of the skills and abilities they possess. There's a few in there that you can actually get. Again, that is one you absolutely want to farm. So if you're going through here and your main farming champion has the ability to go ahead and clear some of these stages solo, you can pop in some low level ones. Now, the same thing is true when it comes to speed gear. This is another place where the gear makes a big difference. You know, getting right here that crit rating on those gloves, That 5-star makes a big difference going in here, really with the chest, getting the HP percent, because as you're building up these champions, as they're getting stronger, as you're adding more levels, Ascension, this has a much higher impact than what we see with the straight HP. And then in the boots, we're going for speed. That is really the primary. The faster that your turn meter can get full, the faster you're using your abilities. You want to focus on speed. And honestly, that's very, very basic, but very true when it comes to building out and when it comes to getting the gear in general. Makes it super simple to go through there. So of course, just a quick recap, running all the way through the 2 modes, running through normal, running through hard, getting to brutal. Brutal is going to be where you're farming. And of course, if you can't farm, if you get to the point, you might have to go back and farm a little bit more, but you can also drop in another champion in here that might not be capped as level. You're not putting in a 2-star or 3-star, but I can put in some of my other ones, like right here at level 24, meaning we know this champion right here can also go to level 40. Could be the ability to go ahead and level up a lot of the other champions as we're sitting here and we're farming gear in the entirety. Does make a really big difference. Now, personally, I was kind of checking out the super raids. I like the super raids, double rewards in one run. So essentially, it gives you, saves time, the progress faster, twice the rewards, twice the energy, but only one raid. So if you're going in there and you know you're just farming, super raids are huge because you can move through here, you can get a lot of rewards, you can level up, but you have to be, again, very, very careful that you're not running the super raids when your champions are capped EXP wise. You want to make sure that that does not happen in the entirety. Again, you want to make sure that you're making the most of every single one, because if you're burning out some resources, it is going to make an absolute big difference in here. Now, after getting in here, building out the gem mine, which we have it already at level 3, then our focus falls into the Guardian Ring. This is the place where you're going to be able to level up your food nonstop. As you can see right here, upgrade to level 10, 1 hour, 24 minutes to go ahead and level up again. Right here, next level in 5 hours, 1 minute. Definitely, you want to run your champions through here 24/7. I have 185 of my gems right here. Once I get to 300, I'm unlocking slot 3, slot 4, slot 5. This is going to be one of the absolute biggest food farms. And this also does work when you're offline. So once you log out a raid, this is still going to run. This is still going to work incredibly well within the game modes, of course. Turn on your notifications, guys. If you have your notifications on, it is going to populate saying the Guardian Ring or a hero has reached a new level. You have to log in. You do have to manually go in here and gain the level. There's no way to do this without going in here and, again, kind of doing it yourself. A lot of players say don't upgrade these slots. I think the upgraded slots do make it go faster. You get more EXP per hour, but honestly, get all the slots first, and then there's a lot of other places that you can use and really build it up. Now, when it comes to the tavern, this is where you're going to use your food. So essentially, this is where we got our guardians, we leveled them up, we leveled up the champions, we got them all completely done. And getting in here, they have to be at max level to build them up. So what we're gonna do is when we're going through here, right here is Thrall, upgrade a rank. This is where we're going to use our food. This, of course, is going to go 1-star to 2-star, so on and so forth, because now we have Thrall. Now you'll notice Thrall goes back to level 1, meaning we cannot use this. We can't use this champion. We have to level this champion now up to level 20, which is why the food farming within this game is so important, because the 2 goes to the 3-star, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, so on and so forth, all the way up to that 6-star. So we can actually drop him out. We have a couple of our 2-stars in here. As you can see, the little denoted by the little red dot. We can go here. We can go to upgrade rank. Now we need 2-stars to actually build this up. So we want to make sure that we're not using any of the heroes, 1 that can be fused, or 2 that are already leveled. So if I use these 2 right here, they are already at max level. They are already at level 20, which means if I go ahead and I upgrade them, the levels are going to disappear. It's going to go back to 0. You don't want to use them. So the best way to do this, and I've been kind of waiting to do some summons, is hop in the portal. This is going to be your mystery shards. If you get your uncommons, if you get your commons, if you're lucky enough to get a rare champion out of here, this is going to be, again, where you're kind of farming your food on a daily basis. You can see we did get some of our tournament points out of there. But going in here, this is going to give me the 1-stars and 2-stars. That 1 I need to level, and 2 we're going to use for food. You can see we got Slicer, we got Commander, we got a couple of 2-stars in there. those are what we're going to hop right back over to the tavern and we're going to use. This is the reason why, like I was kind of talking about earlier, when it comes to some of these champions that are 3 stars, this is where we're going to be using them. So looking in here, we have a level 20 2-star right here, max level. Let's upgrade the rank. You can see some of these are the ones that we just pulled. There's 1, there's 2. We'll go ahead and take this to 3 stars. Now, honestly, when you get to 3 stars, possibly even getting to 4 stars, this is the point where you want to really start farming with these champions because, again, they're not going to be level capped as fast as all of the other ones. And you'll also notice I have a couple 30s up here that I already leveled. I have a 27 right here, an 11. Then we do have a 9. So I was kind of going through systematically, knowing that I was going to do an incredible amount of summons and knowing that looking at these 2 stars, we can go in here. We have a level 1 right there. Looks like we have another level 1 right there. A lot of these 2 stars going to 3 stars. We already had the 3 stars built. So going through again, grabbing one of our 3 stars. So there we got a 2-star at level 20 already. Upgrading the rank. Again, we want to make sure, one, we're not using some of the champions that already have levels, and we're also not using the champions that are already fused. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and wait till we knock out some more of those summons, having some more champions in here to actually build. Then you'll get to the point. And honestly, the first thing you want to do is pick one champion that's going to be your farmer. If it's going to be Galak, if it's going to be, for me, it's going to be Kale. This is what you want to do first, is getting this up to 60. That is the priority. So you have this giant Mount Everest to climb, going up there and getting, you can see we have a couple 5 stars right here. I need to take a lot of these 4 stars that I have, start combining them with other ones and building out the 5 stars, because when it comes to having some of these built and getting these to the maximum rank, it takes a lot of time. Even looking here at a 4-star to get to a 5-star to possibly move to a 6-star, I need 4 other 4-star champions, which does make it very, very in-depth to go ahead and build these up. But getting them again, getting them to the 6 stars, getting them ascended, but getting them built up to get to level 60, levels are what really makes the champions within Raid. Now, of course, when we start looking at some of the other aspects of the game, specifically hopping in here, looking at our dungeons, this is another place where when you start thinking bigger picture and farming out, and this was a tip that I had gotten from another video, I think it was from, I think it was from Ash, is going in like a Minotaur's Labyrinth. Now, this was something that I didn't really think about, didn't really dawn on me until I seen this. But looking at here, you can see we're getting all of these scrolls for all of these champions. There might be a point where we can actually drop in, if we have other champions in here, that we can drop in other champions, because they are going to still receive EXP for going through different content. So when you're going through a lot of different places, going through here, let's say Force Keep, I'm at, a high level on the Force Keep. I can go through here, I can go with the team, even missing both of the champions in the back row. I can drop in like some of these early game 3 stars that we have. There's a 3-star, we have another 4-star that we're trying to actually build up a little bit further. We can add them in, we can actually get some levels while we're farming out a lot of other content. So if we're looking for potions, if we're looking for, resources, if we're looking for really anything at all, you can always, if your champions are strong enough, pop somebody else in there just to pick up a little bit of experience. And that's also true for most game modes. So thinking about like Faction Wars, coming in here, I actually went through, and this was one of the only places right now, using my keys. You can see we have a level 3 right here. I had a few different ones that I just popped in here. This is how they actually gained a couple levels. Farming this for the keys. Now, every single day, these keys do reset. You can see if I go up here, I believe it clicks, maybe not within here, but it shows like how long it's going to take for these keys to reset. The keys ultimately going in here and building out the crypt keys, or utilizing those crypt keys, even if I don't have the heroes, if I can farm anything in here, it makes a really big difference. A lot of these, I can't farm anything right here. We have 12 keys, 12 keys. I don't have any of the champions at this point. So unfortunately, we can't farm anything. We can't level anything. At this point, the resources are lost. I have to really stress, when it comes to this game, everything that you get has a purpose. When we look at our clan bosses, you can see I use my keys in here. When you come to your arena tokens, you don't want anything to be full and just sitting idle. This, again, is a game, and a really big game of constant progression and moving forward, always making sure your energy isn't full, making sure that you're keys, your tokens, your crypt keys, your demon lord keys, your chimera keys, making sure that nothing is full at any time. And then you can kind of double it up. So I want to look through at the events right now because this is pretty interesting. So as we're going through here, we're farming, we're farming, we're farming. We're looking for gear. We're looking for essentially, we're looking for a lot of our champions. Going here, you're going to get all of these extra resources, as you can see, as we're farming through. Not only do you get these rewards looking at our chicken and everything, you do get a free hero right here, or free champion, but looking through here, you want to farm this up as much as you can using the resources that you have. And then, of course, once that's all done, so now we're done, we're looking at just strictly gaining levels. We got to get more food over and over and over. That is the point where 12-3 is going to fall in. Now, looking at 12-3 right here, it has a shield. When you look at the energy in relationship to the silver that is earned, the shield sells for a little bit more. So if you're looking again, the efficiency of both game modes, if your farmer can come in here and can solo this, just like right here, which Kale can, unfortunately at this point, I cannot. But if this champion could farm this, we can drop in 3 other of our champions, go through here, farm this with like crazy. It is going to give us the most energy to silver ratio. It is going to give us the most EXP out of here in relationship to silver. It is the place that everybody has said unanimously through all of the YouTube content, even looking at some sites, this is the unanimous place to absolutely farm, not going into Nightmare, staying in Brutal. Now, if you go into Nightmare, you do have the ability to farm. You're getting a little bit more EXP, but you're getting a lot less silver. That is the reason why when it comes to farming, this is where it's at. Now, looking at silver, silver is, they have said, and again, being newer to Raid, they have said that silver is the absolute biggest thing within Raid that you need literally forever. Even when you're getting all of these champions built up, when you're kind of maxing everything out, you will always need silver for gear, silver for anything. And even looking when we combine champions, when we're using them, silver is required for anything that we're doing, even going through upgrading here, it is silver that is required for everything that we're looking to do in Raid. So guys, I hope it really summed it up. Want to farm in here, and I've been farming like crazy. Like I said, we just started day 6 right now. We just got the reset on day 5. I'm getting ready for the big Alice chains on day 7. Just started day 6 literally on the reset, I believe about an hour ago now. So definitely wanted to hop in here. We'll have Alice pretty soon. And as you can see, there are some 3-day EXP boosts that are coming down the pipeline. I love it. As long as they keep feeding us those energy, feeding us that XP boost, I am all about it. So all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.